Say this is the video of Mark Thompson breaking into a home, then making himself at home. In the security video, you can see Thompson casually walking in yesterday afternoon, putting on a jacket, wandering around, then turning on the TV. At one point, he even grabs a beer from the fridge. The homeowner got an alert that there was movement in his home. He watched Thompson on his phone and called his neighbor. Chandra Vestal lives across the street from that homeowner and didn't hesitate to help.
So I went to our garage, my husband and I, and we got 2 pistols. We met him in the cul-de-sac. He blocked off the entry of the cul-de-sac to make sure if he did have a vehicle, the man that was entering the home, that he wouldn't be able to escape. So as he pulled in, I passed him this .45 and then I got the other Ruger. Micah and I went into the home with 2 of the loaded weapons. Micah announced himself to the perpetrator saying, "I have a loaded weapon, get down on your hands and knees." At that time I came up behind him and we got the individual on his hands and knees to lay down. So we got his arms and his feet duct taped, and then we picked him up, carried him out to the front yard, and waited for the police to show up.
When police showed up, they found Thompson on the ground, his hands and ankles taped.
The police had told us that the home prior that he had broken into, he was wearing the same clothes that he had stolen from that home when he broke into Micah's house.
Now, the homeowner and his neighbor said they were confident in their ability to detain Thompson because they both served.
A champion MMA fighter scored a major takedown outside his Albuquerque house today. Keith Jardine, the famous Dean of Mean, was working on the computer at his Four Hills home this morning when he noticed something odd. A car he didn't recognize pulled up outside, and then
some guy gets out, goes in my mailbox and grabs all my mail, throws it in his car, and then speeds off. I just find my keys, I run out of the house, I jump in my Bronco, and I chase down the street after him.
Jardine, who is a lean, mean, 185-pound fighting machine, cut the thief off, jumped out, made like he was going to punch the driver. The driver gave up. He is identified as 39-year-old Richard Davenport, seen in the corner of this picture that Jardine took. Davenport claimed that he was just picking up mail for a friend, but police reportedly found a lot of other people's mail in Davenport's car. He does have a criminal history that includes burglary. Federal agents from the Postal Inspection Service are now investigating the mail theft.
All started when she and her 24-year-old nephew, a Marine, were up chatting in the middle of the night after a family gathering. At that point, they went out to walk the dog, but when this Marine went outside to his white truck, which we can see at the end of the cul-de-sac here, he says he noticed someone was trying to break in. Turns out a boyfriend and girlfriend were car prowling last night. They showed up in a stolen car and were attempting to steal this Marine's truck. At that point, the aunt tells me there was some sort of gunfire. She came outside, and at that point, the suspected shooter, the thief, the would-be car thief in the stolen vehicle, tried to get away with his girlfriend. The car wouldn't move. He stood up with a gun, and at that point, the Marine shoved her to the side to protect her. Listen to what she told us.
He shoved me out of the way when the guy was going to shoot at us. Looked like he had a gun, and he pushed me out of the way. I don't think if he would have done that, I don't think I would be alive.
Think that he was justified in shooting the man?
Definitely.
Well, after that, she says she ran to perform CPR on this would-be car thief. She obviously was unsuccessful. The man died here at the scene. The girlfriend also helped, but she was hysterical.
The one puncture wound to the side.
Brian Chapin of Tonawanda suffered a stab wound to his side and another slash to the arm. He's the man who was paying his respects to his grandfather at the family plot at Forest Lawn on Thursday when he saw 2 thieves breaking into his parked car.
This is the damage that's on the other guy.
What Chapin's attackers didn't know was that he is a retired Marine with a fighter spirit. He served in Iraq a few years ago before being injured. There was no question in his mind about fighting back here.
They messed with the wrong guy, I guess. So really, be on the lookout for a guy that's face looks like hamburger meat.
Forest Lawn is privately owned, but open to the public. There's always a lot of activity, well beyond burials. Many people, including this class from NCCC, were furious that these would take advantage of a person visiting their loved one. Additional security is now underway at the cemetery. Chapin thinks the thieves are after his car radio. Will he return to Forest Lawn?
I'm not going to run. If I do, then they can take whatever the hell they want, and I'm not that guy. I'll definitely be back.
Two got out. They're getting ready to jump the fence.
The calm voice you're listening to belongs to a 31-year-old homeowner who's inside his Sunrise residence Monday morning when all of a sudden 3 burglars shatter a glass door.
No, they're in my house right now.
The man remains on the phone with dispatch while he retrieves his shotgun. Seconds later, the homeowner opens fire.
Sir, are those shots fired?
Yeah.
Tell me what is happening, sir.
I killed one, I think.
The intruder, now identified as 21-year-old Albert Jones, is dead, but his 2 partners in crime are already on the run, fleeing from the home before police arrive. Later in the day, police would catch up with the other 2 intruders, 26-year-old Curtis Jeffries and 23-year-old Jose Coleman, both facing murder.